What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chat HVAC. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chat HVAC, where we have quick answers to your comfort questions. My name is Scott Jackson. I work with Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling here in the Cincinnati area of Ohio. And today we're going to be tackling a question that comes up a lot: duct cleaning. You've probably seen the ads promising cleaner air, fewer allergies, and better system performance if you get your ducts cleaned. But is duct cleaning really worth it, or is it just another sales gimmick? Is it a scam? The good news is I'm going to walk you through what duct cleaning can and can't do for you, when it makes sense, and when your money might be better spent elsewhere. Yes, I'm actually going to be honest with you. By the end, you'll have the facts that you need to make the right choice for your home. Before we dive into our subject matter today, I just want to go ahead and ask that you would go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment. Those things help us out tremendously. If you like what we're doing here at Chat HVAC and you like the value that we're providing to homeowners, those things are the best way to help support the show and get us in front of more homeowners. So we would certainly appreciate that from you. Now, diving in here, kind of set the stage for you here. Why is duct cleaning a hot topic? So duct cleaning is heavily marketed. You see it a lot. You see coupons, you see ads, you see scare tactics, you see a bunch of people driving around in trucks that have big duct cleaning pictures on it. This is something that's in front of homeowners a lot. This is something that you guys probably bring up to me the most. If there's one question that I get as it relates to indoor air quality, is, do I need to get my ducts cleaned? How often do I need to get my duct cleaned? Does duct cleaning actually do anything? Those are probably the three biggest questions that I get, and those are what I'm going to seek to answer here for you. But another reason why duct cleaning is a hot topic is many homeowners assume dirty ducts equals dirty air. But it's not always that simple. Now, the air in your home may not be dirty. The furniture in your house might be a little dusty, but that's another story. Air ducts can get dusty, but that doesn't always affect your indoor air quality. Dust is kind of just an unfortunate reality of our life. We run into dust outside, we run into dust inside. But is that actually going to drastically bring down the quality of air in your home? We're going to address that. And then some real concerns with duct cleaning. Dust circulation. Is it going to be circulating dust throughout the house? Most of the time, the answer is yes. Mold growth inside ductworks, pest infestations, HVAC efficiency. Those are some real, honest concerns as it relates to a customer entertaining if they actually want to purchase a duct cleaning or not. So, what actually happens in a duct cleaning? What do we do in duct cleaning? What does it even look like? So the process of duct cleaning, at least how we do it here at Comfort Solutions, is we take a high-powered HEPA vacuum and we attach that. We isolate both your supply air side of the duct system and the return air side of the duct system, and we will clean each system independently. So we'll typically start with the returns; they're the dirtiest. We will hook up this HEPA vac. It has a 12-inch hose on it, and we cut a hole, circular hole in your ductwork. We mount this hose to typically the bottom side of your return drop, because we want to catch all the dust as it's falling down. And we turn on the vacuum. Now, before we turn on the vacuum, one thing that we do is we go to every return register. It's supply register as well. We typically do this all at the same time. But we cover it with like a clear, translucent, just adhesive film. It adheres to the ductwork. It doesn't leave any residue or anything like that. It adheres to the registers and allows us to completely block off airflow to those registers. Why do we do that? When we have the vacuum running, we want to build up excessive negative pressure. And then at that point, what we do is we go to the furthest run away from the system. So we'll start with the returns. We'll go to the furthest one. If you have a second floor return, that's typically the second floor return. We will go there. We will take the register cover off of the return, and we will push compressed air from the inlet of that return all the way down to your system's return drop. So we have extremely long air compressor hoses. There is an attachment on the end. It kind of looks, it's got like tentacles on the end, or maybe like a brush that spins around. Depending on the application, we'll use different sorts of attachments on the end of the hose. And what this does is it irritates the wall of the ductwork, and the forward pressure of the air compressor pushing the dust, combined with the excessive negative pressure that the HEPA vacuum is putting on the system, gets those duct runs extremely clean. So they do a wonderful job. And then we repeat the same process on the supply air side of the system. So that's kind of in a nutshell what duct cleaning looks like, what it does, how we do it, what the process is. Now, reputable companies who offer duct cleaning will typically offer to seal the ductwork as well. This is something that if you don't get your ductwork sealed, specifically your return, you're just asking for more dust to come back in prematurely. So duct sealing is typically a really good thing to consider to get done if you're going to get duct cleaning done as well. Now, some poor operations of duct cleaning, they might just kind of blow dust around or do what's called a surface clean. So if you pay for a duct cleaning and you see somebody, now shop vacuuming out the immediate vicinity of the ductwork is a standard practice. But if that's all they do, if you don't see them bring in a HEPA vac, you don't see them lug in air compressor hoses throughout the house and go to each individual run, and all they're doing is just going to each run and shop vacuuming the registers in the immediate vicinity inside the register, that's what's called a surface clean. That's not a duct cleaning. That is not the same thing, and it's not going to do the same thing for you. And that's often why people kind of have a bad taste in their mouth about duct cleaning, to be perfectly honest. Now, how much do these cost? Duct cleaning can range. It depends on how many vents you have. Like our structure here is we have a base package price for the first 10 vents, and then we charge a small fee for each vent additional. It's just kind of the best way that we've been able to structure pricing for that. Some companies do flat rate pricing, some companies do time and materials, but usually cost for duct cleaning, you're going to be looking about $400 to $1,000 for a full home, depending on how many vents you have, what size your system is, that kind of thing. Now, a point that I want to make. Duct cleaning is not this magical fix that's going to magically make everything in your home better, okay? I want to set accurate expectations with duct cleaning. What duct cleaning does is literally just in the name. It cleans the ductwork. It gets the dust out. It gets the dirt out. It gets the dander out. It gets toys that are stuck in the ductwork out. And it allows your air to circulate better. It allows dust to stop being circulated throughout the house. And it's better for the health of your system. And I have seen people say that it's improved their allergies, but it's not going to make them go away. If you want better air quality as far as allergies is concerned, check out the episode from last week where we talked about indoor air quality products, and you might be considering a air purifier or ionizer for your home. But this is not a magic wand where if I get a duct cleaning, everything's going to be better with my HVAC system. That's just not how it works. Now, some benefits of duct cleaning. These are things that are actually true. So situations where duct cleaning can be beneficial. Visible mold growth inside the ducts. Okay, if you have growth that is inside the duct, if you have some issues that are inside the duct, we will highly recommend a duct cleaning, and then very highly recommend an air purifier, UV light, those kinds of things to help mitigate mold production in the future, as well as sealing your ductwork, right? Like I mentioned before. If you have signs of like mice or other types of vermin in the ductwork, where they have droppings or things in the ductwork, that's another big reason to get your ducts cleaned. If you have excessive dust in the house, most of the time that is circulating through your HVAC system, getting your ducts cleaned can help mitigate some of that. And then always, if you do a major renovation on the house and you have drywall dust, sawdust, those kinds of things in the house, that will infiltrate your ductwork at a high rate. Because most of the time, people don't turn off their systems when they're doing renovations. They just let it run. That's not a good thing. If you're doing a major renovation on the house, make sure when you're done, change your air filter, or stay up on your air filter if you're doing renovations. Make sure you change it every 15 days. but also get a duct cleaning after the renovation is done. That'll bring your system back to a good baseline. Now, it can also improve airflow if some duct runs are extremely clogged. So like some of your smaller runs, things like that, they can be plugged up with dirt, dust, or debris. And it may also help reduce odors caused by buildup, caused by just excessive dirt and dust in the ductwork. It can eliminate some of those odors as well. Pressing on here to the other side of the coin, we have some limitations or misconceptions with ductwork, some things that might not be true. Duct cleaning alone won't solve allergies if your filter's never changed. I feel like that should be a given, but I wanted to mention it. Like I said, duct cleaning is not a magic wand. Next, there is no guarantee that it improves energy efficiency. If you get a duct cleaning on a 30-year-old system, your energy is going to be just as inefficient as it was before the duct cleaning. It's really not going to make a difference. Dirty coils, not ducts, are usually the culprit of efficiency loss. Next, routine cleaning every year is unnecessary. Even the EPA says as needed. Typically what I would recommend as far as a frequency of duct cleaning, how often should you get your ducts cleaned? I typically tell customers 5 years is a good baseline. 5 years is a lot of time to build up dirt and dust in the ductwork. There is a statistic out there that I've seen regarding duct cleaning from some reputable HVAC sources that every year that your duct isn't cleaned, that your ductwork isn't cleaned, you accumulate approximately 1 inch worth of dust in the duct system. So take that for what it's worth. If you don't have an excessively dirty home, that's fine. Now, kind of a telltale sign that you might need a duct cleaning is if you start to have to replace your filters more frequently. If they're getting a lot dirtier when you normally replace them than they typically did in the same amount of time, that's usually a good sign that you might want a duct cleaning done sometime in the near future. Now, there are some companies out there that use scare tactics. I don't personally know of any, but I have seen some of the stories where they show fake mold, exaggerated claims. They'll show pictures of like before and after, like they'll show before pictures of the customer passing it off as their duct system when it's not their duct system, those kinds of things. Those are typically companies that you just don't want to deal with anyway because they're just trying to sell you something. They don't actually care about you as a customer. One thing I do want to stress here, though, is duct cleaning is not a substitute for regular HVAC maintenance. If you want some more of your questions answered on HVAC maintenance, is it worth it? Is it a scam? What do we do? What's included? I did do an episode on HVAC maintenance. I'll link that below. You can check that out and get all the information regarding maintenance down there in that video. Now, some things that you should do maybe before you get a duct cleaning or even like right after you get a duct cleaning to try to keep as much dust out of your system as possible. Start with the basics. Change your filter regularly. Seal your ductwork. I've said that 3 times this episode. Make sure your ductwork is sealed. And a great time to do that is when you're getting your ductwork cleaned. So clean your ductwork, get it sealed up. You're going to mitigate a ton of dust infiltration into your ductwork. It's going to be way better off than it was before. Also, keep your home vacuumed and cleaned. Just keeping your house generally clean is going to keep the dust production down. It's going to be great. So have your HVAC system inspected annually. And if your ducts do need cleaned, choose a certified professional. So there are some companies out there that only do duct cleaning. There's companies like us, like HVAC companies that do duct cleaning as well. We offer that as an additional service. Make sure the company that you're working for is a reputable company. They've been around a while. They know what they're doing, and they care about you as the homeowner. That's the whole reason why we even do this podcast. We don't charge you anything for this podcast. We don't charge any membership fees. We don't charge anything for this content. We want to get HVAC related education content out to you as the homeowner so you can be equipped to the best possible degree to deal with questions, concerns, or if you just generally want to learn a little bit about HVAC, this is the best way that you can do that. We try to make it digestible for you. So pressing on here, one thing I will say, one of the biggest questions that I get from homeowners is, when should I get my ductwork cleaned? What I will say is, if your system is 27 years old and you know that you're going to have to replace it in the near future, I would hold off on the duct cleaning for a little bit until you replace the system. It's typically, like, I've done installation, I do service, I've done duct cleaning, I've done all 3 of these things. And just from my own personal experience, the best time to get your duct clean is when your equipment is out of the way. We have direct access to the duct system. Everything can be completely isolated, and we can get the highest percentage of dirt, dust, debris, buildup, everything out of the ductwork when the equipment is out of the way, because we're able to catch it better because none of the dust gets into the actual equipment. And then once we put in your new system, the dirt and dust and debris and buildup and things like that that were in your system are no longer there. And now your new system that you've just invested good money in has a wonderful duct system to be operating in, especially if you got it sealed at the same time. That's a great time to do that. Now, pressing on here, some practical tips for you, for homeowners. There are some signs that your ducts might need cleaned. If you do have visible growth in your system, whether it's in your duct system or whether it's on your coil, things like that, I would recommend a duct cleaning. That's a kind of a surefire, like, yeah, you definitely should consider a duct cleaning at that point. If you know you've had a rodent or insect problem in the house, I would also recommend doing that. Lots of times they can get into the air vents. They can use the ductwork as bathrooms, things like that. So there's droppings and such that are inside the vents and inside the ductwork, and none of that is pleasant. You don't want that. You don't want to be breathing that in the air that you have in your home. Also, if you have excessive dust in the house, if you're changing your filter more frequently than you used to, those are some telltale signs that, hey, it might be time to consider a duct cleaning. Also, something else that I wanted to give you some questions to ask your contractor. What equipment do you use? Look for things like HEPA vac, air compressor, things like that. Those are all signs that this person is genuinely doing a very good job. They know what they're doing, and they know the value of duct cleaning. Oftentimes, this method is called a push-pull method, or sometimes they have to do what's called a reverse sweep method, where we attach the HEPA vac directly to each register and then pull. We have an attachment that will blow air backwards. We'll run the hose all the way to the furnace location and turn on the air compressor and pull it backwards, and then pull the air towards the HEPA vac for duct systems that are just inaccessible. And then will you show before and after pictures? So a contractor who does a good job is typically going to be proud of the work that they do, and they will be more than willing to show you before and after pictures. Now, one thing I do want to give you before I leave is don't fall for the cheap $99 duct cleaning special. Any company worth their salt is not going to charge you $100 to spend 2 or 3 hours out at your house with 1 or 2 guys and completely clean your duct system. They're just not going to. The service is worth more than that. It's more valuable than that. It does more than $99. And typically, those are the companies that are coming in just trying to sell you more products. So don't fall for the cheap $99 specials. Lots of times they could also be what we discussed earlier as a surface clean. Again, I don't have any companies around me that are doing that, but I have seen them advertised. And if they're coming out charging you $100, they're probably not going to be there very long, and they're probably not going to do a full job. So they'll maybe just do a surface clean with a shop vac, things like that, and just for the effort to get into the house and get your duct system cleaned. So and sell you some additional accessories and add-ons and things like that. So just be aware of that. Oftentimes, those are the ones that are scams, and they're the reasons why people don't think duct cleaning does anything. So I have talked about duct cleaning enough today. I hope this episode was helpful. Thanks for joining me today on this episode of Chat HVAC. I hope this episode helped clear the air, literally, pun intended, about duct cleaning. It's not always necessary, but in the right situations, it really can make a difference. They really do have a benefit that they can provide to the home. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or neighbor who's been thinking about duct cleaning. And don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out and helps more homeowners discover the show. Next time on Chat HVAC, we will be having one of the technicians that I work with on a daily basis on the show to talk about the top 5 myths about your HVAC system that could be costing you money. Tune in next week for this very special interview with one of our top technicians here at Comfort Solutions. Until then, I'm Scott Jackson. This is Chat HVAC. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.